Hey everybody, it's GobletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're going to be playing another quick draft of MTG Foundations, the newest core set on Arena that'll be around for a long time. Back to some basic bread and butter traditional Magic the Gathering here. A very nice break from all of the Universes Beyond and super complex sets that we've had lately. Without further ado, let's just get into the draft here. I'm going to start with Helpful Hunter. I think this is just a very generically powerful card. It's good in any white deck. It's very flexible. So I'm a huge fan of the Helpful Hunter, whereas there is another option here, the Zula Sure, which is kind of the opposite. Incredibly narrow. There aren't a ton of zombies in the set, but it can be decent if you do manage to get a ton of zombies. If black is like really open and you get the Hungry Ghouls and the 4 mana 4/2 zombies. So it's kind of a fun build around. I'd rather just take something generically good early so that we can stay open to whatever is flying around. Pick number 2 now. There's Llanowar Elves there for that 1 mana ramp. One of the best reasons to be in green. There's Hungry Ghoul, one of the better black creatures. If we want to just stick to white, there is a Guarded Air, which is a good top end spell. Lots of stats for the cost. I don't think we've really played like an actual green deck a single time yet. We splashed green for a Coma. I might take Llanowar Elves and see where that takes us here over the Guarded Air. Let's grab them. Pick number 3, there's a Healer's Hawk sticking to white. This is an exceptional card. 1 mana, 1/1 flying lifelink is just a great stat line. Very hard to outrace that. So I like Healer's Hawk a lot. Jouster's also pretty good. Not a bad removal spell at all for the early game. Well, those are the best in the pack outside of the multicolored card that's completely off track. Pick number 4. Well, there you go. Eager Truffle Snout. A little bit low toughness, so it's pretty easy for this to die, but 4 power Trampler for 3 mana that's also spitting out food tokens. Pretty solid stat line. I guess one thing to mention is there is pretty fierce competition with Heroic Reinforcements, which is great for the Boros aggro decks, where you just go really wide and play this, buff your whole board. But I want to play some green today. I have not played any yet, really. I played a tiny bit of red, if I remember right. But it's been a whole lot of blue and black, and a decent chunk of white, too. Blue, black, and white, I think, is what we've been playing this return trip. Pick 5, Wary Thespian, perfectly reasonable green 2-drop. So we're doing a great job just sticking to green for now. Don't mind it. Pick number 6, Fiendish Panda is such a fun build around for the black-white life gain decks. It's in a Johnny's Pridemate style card that gets bigger whenever you gain life, and then it also reanimates something when it dies. Really cool card. I mean, it's so cool. I think I could take it over Gnarlid Colony. We've also seen a million copies of Blanchwood Armor. What if I just start taking Blanchwood Armors and I see if I wheel them? And if I do, we just go mono green. Fiendish Panda is like the trying to win pick. Blanchwood Armor is the funny one. So I'll take a Blanchwood Armor. We'll see if we wheel all of them. Pick number 7, still a Think Twice in here is wild. I think that's the best card in the pack. But Inspiring Paladin's pretty reasonable for green-white. You end up with some random creatures with +1/+1 counters on them. If we're forcing mono green, we could also take Bushwhack, but even then, I would much rather have the 2 mana green removal spell where one of your creatures deals damage equal to its power without actually having to fight. So I'm just going to take Inspiring Paladin on that one. There's another Blanchwood Armor. There's another Blanchwood Armor. This is a goofy card because even if you're full mono green, there's a lot of good, cheap removal in this set. So even when you're literally only on forests, it's not that good of a card because you can get blown out really badly. Say you play a Wary Thespian turn 2 to get a 3/1 onto the board, and then turn 3 you try to cast a Blanchwood Armor on it, and they just have the common Stab for -2/2, or the common Burst Lightning for 2 damage to it. You get blown out hard there. You lose 2 cards at the cost of only 1 mana and 1 card for your opponent. So I do want to say tread lightly with cards like Blanchwood Armor, even if you go full mono green, and buyer beware. That said, I'm taking Blanchwood Armor. And I'm having fun. I'm taking Quake Strider Ceratops, big green fatties. Let's throw a Blanchwood Armor onto a Trampler, like a Beastkin Ranger. I believe after this pack is when we would start wheeling Blanchwood Armors. No, somebody took Blanchwood Armors. Why would you do that? You stupid bots. I still got 2 copies, so we're fine. And then we get the traditional, the original overrun. 5 mana +3/+3 trample to your whole board for the turn. That's a way to win a game of Magic. Just have a wide board, cast an overrun, and they're dead. I got a deck strat. Blinders on. I'm not looking at any other color now. This is happening. See, I'm taking Giant Growth over much better cards. Double Quake Strider Ceratops. Top off the curve with some 12/8s. There's a bite down. Get that removal. A second copy of Overrun. We're unstoppable. We're completely unstoppable. Gnarlid Colony joined the party. I need 2 mana 2/2s. Nessian Hornbeetle's a 2 mana 2/2 that gets a lot bigger later because we got some big creatures to trigger it. Eager Truffle Snout's a cheap one. We've got a 3 mana creature that'll start putting counters on this, but then also the double Quake Strider Ceratops and so on. Cackling Prowler. Ambush Wolf is another 3 mana card that triggers the Hornbeetle every turn. We're not playing any of this. Pick 10 refute. Criminal pick orders from these bots. All right, I need 5 playables out of this final pack. We got the same rare we opened in pack 2, which is a very good rare. If we just drafted black-white this whole draft, after that Fiendish Panda, we would have had an excellent black-white life gain deck, but that's too bad. We're grabbing a Llanowar Elves. Ooh, we got a green rare Mossborn Hydra. Doubles up its +1/+1 counters whenever you play a land, so it starts as a 1/1. But then it's a 2/2, then a 4/4, then an 8/8, and obviously so on from there. It gets absolutely ridiculous. Dwynen's Elite is fine. We've got double Llanowar Elves for it. Dreadwing Scavenger is like the mythic uncommon of the set. This and the Mystic that spits out a 1/1 flyer every time you draw a second card, those 2 cards are like rare power level. They are absurd. Another Giant Growth. Thespian over the Giant Growth here for sure. We've got 4 2 mana creatures, but we've already got double Giant Growth. Yep, another Thespian, definitely. How many elves did I end up with? We've got 4 elves. Dwynen is not going to be very good. I feel like Gnarlid Colony might be better. Giving all of our creatures that have a counter on them trample and being a potential trampler by itself, pretty big with Blanchwood Armor. Right, like if I have let's say I have a 4/4 trampling Gnarlid Colony on the board, it makes Blanchwood Armor like a lethal top deck a lot of the time. To where if I ever just top deck one, I just go, boom, here's a 10/10 trample, jam in. So I think the Gnarlid Colony makes the most sense here. Over like a 3 elf Dwynen deck. Play another Ambush Wolf for another cheap 4 power creature. Only the creatures with counters on them gain indestructible. It's kind of narrow. I should probably not play Inspiring Call. I've got a few creatures that'll end up with counters on them, but I don't think enough to run Inspiring Call. Yeah, we'll cut that. 17 creatures right now. We could cut a creature or a land. I mean, I've got double Llanowar Elves and we're a monocolor deck, so we're never worried about drawing our second color. And the double Llanowar Elves helps too. Yeah, I'll just go 16 forests, call it a deck, and hop straight into the gameplay. Full Timmy mode. We're going to play big creatures, play large dudes, and attack. This is going to be a fun one. Call it a deck there, hop into the gameplay, and see how far this one can take us. All right, here we are on the play for game number 1. We really got to draw lands here, but we're working our way towards an overrun. Overrunning after a Ceratops is on board would be awesome. Burglar Rat is pretty rude. Probably got to get rid of the 6 mana card. I mean, honestly, the Giant Growth doesn't do a ton right now. Probably not crazy to ditch that. Because I've got the Overrun coming up, I think I just flood my creatures out to the board as quickly as possible. Wary Thespian. Get their 3-1. Awkward, no land there. Let's see if the Thespian can find some lands for us. It does find land 4, which we'll keep for next turn. Go to 17. There's a Cackling Prowler. Here's our Cackling Prowler. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh! Well, I mean, they got us with Galta. I guess if I make it to 6 mana, I've got a 12-8, but by then it's already killed me because it's trampled over so much. I was counting up our overrun damage and I was like, maybe we can outrace with an overrun here, but then once the Galta hit the board, it's like, well, green decks just can't kill a 12-12 because all our damage is power-based. So the Galta here is really bad for us. We did hit land 5 for overrun, but I can't overrun through the Galta. Now I would be playing it trying to get to land 6 for Ceratops, and by the time I get there, I'd kind of already be dead to the Galta. I think we just get Galted here. We just don't have outs to that card because we're mono green. There's not a single card in the whole set that could deal with that before turn 6 in green alone. Unless we had our own Galta, I guess. Yeah, see, like our bite down style removal. All right, unfortunate matchup to start things with. We do need our opponents to not play 12-12s, but we'll see how the games go from here. We'll start out 0-1 heading into game number 2. All right, here we are on the draw for game number 2. Double overrun, the classic. Wary Thespian into Mossborn Hydra with a Blanchwood armor to throw on somebody. We got a plan. We hope they don't have cheap removal to ruin that plan. Thespian is definitely the first play. We got to Surveil to mana. And we really got to Surveil to mana. Our first 2 draws were both spells. There is a land on top. Beautiful. They could have Luminous Rebuke to blow up our Blanchwood armor, so I think I'm going to play it a little slow. Chill and play the Hydra. Great draw. And let's see if they have that Rebuke. Maybe, maybe not. They didn't cast it yet. They hit their black source, kept a monocolored hand, drew the second color here. Here's an Ambush Wolf. Llanowar Elves is the draw. So now that they have black mana up, they could have a stab that would kill any of these creatures when I try to put a Blanchwood armor on them. So I think the play is just a Gnarlid Colony. Just really playing to not get 2 for 1 here. Be a fake your own death instead of a stab. Sure. Everybody's going to have trample when it matters with double overrun. Good luck, opponent. Which overrun do you want? Oh, they want the Blanchwood armor. All right. If they got a plan to survive 2 overrun in a row, I'd like to see it. Without a 2-mana or less removal spell, they don't even survive the first overrun. Okay. Good stuff from Overrun. We are now 1-1 heading into game 3. All right, here we are on the play with a curve out now. Thespian into Ambush Wolf into Cackling Prowler. Some high power creatures early. There's a Healer's Hawk from our opponent, which is big enough to stop Wary Thespian, awkwardly. Gnarlid Colony's the draw. I think I'll mill that. I got stronger cards to draw into. It does fit into my curve. It could be our 5-mana play, but I just don't think it's worth it. Three one for 3/1 is completely fine. Keep a Blanchwood armor. Flash an Ambush Wolf in and then throw an armor onto it. It's black-white again, so they're going to be a removal-heavy deck, which makes the Blanchwood armor worse. Suppose we try to put it on the Cackling Prowler then for the ward. Now it's not even that good because they have double chump off of Prideful Parent. Gain a bajillion life in the sky, good lord. There we go, that's a good card to put the Blanchwood armor onto. Take it all. Okay. Zero for Defender. Menacing Wind Siphoner. It's 5 plus 5. 7, 7. 10, 10 Giant Growth. I don't think... I don't think I need to Giant Growth on attacks, so let's kill this parent here. and stop the damage. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven on the crackback. Let's go. If they cannot kill the Hydra, we win. If they can kill the Hydra, they win. Because they've got 4 flying, power, some life gain going. They can outrace the other 2 cards. Looks like they can't kill the Hydra. They Macabre waltzed back a Prideful Parent. They can't even cast it. I think that means we win. We just attack all again next turn. I am surprised and happy with the lack of removal here. Because again, even at just common, they could have Luminous Rebuke or Banishing Light out of white. They could have Stab or Eaten Alive out of black. So even like common removal spells there is a chunk. Ooh. Land is definitely the kill, right? I mean 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, no. The Hydra's almost single-handedly lethal there. Crazy. Did not think that Hydra was going to be able to stick around like that, but because it could, that thing is so big, especially with some Blanchwood armor on it, and that is 2-1 heading into game number 4. All right, here we are on the play for game 4. We've got the Hornbeetle into a 3-mana 4-power creature combo to start getting counters on Hornbeetle on turn 3. You love to see it. Playing against a red deck, though, which means they could just burn the Hornbeetle with a Burst Lightning. They don't have a Burst Lightning in the opener. They would have cast it already. They've got a Courageous Goblin here. Whenever this attacks while they have a creature with 4 power. Okay. Not when it blocks, which means Truffle Snout giving the Hornbeetle a counter is going to be enough to attack it in here. Save the Hydra for our 4 mana play. Technically not 4 mana, but you know, cast it for 3, then play the 4th land whenever we draw it. If we don't have a 4th land, then we can play our other stuff here. I don't mind trading a Giant Growth into the Goblin Borders and then casting a Gnarlid Colony. I guess I technically should have played Gnarlid Colony first to get some trample damage in, but then they also would have known I have a 1 mana card up specifically that Arena's holding for. But I really should have pre-combated the Gnarlid Colony anyway. Some kind of trick to kill the Hornbeetle here. Indeed, Sure Strike, good stuff. Still deal 6. Get more food. And tempted to go Prowler here over Mossborn Hydra. Yeah, sad day for the Hydra. Let's get a ward threat. It's also got trample thanks to the Gnarlid Colony. Giant Growth might be lethal. We have 9 trampling power here. This is lethal on board. So we don't have to do anything unless they do something. Fleeting Flight. Put a +1/+1 counter on it, prevent all damage that would be dealt to it. Okay. And then I can just trample over anyway. I mean, 7 from the Truffle Snout alone. All right, that is 3-1 now, a 50-50 record at worst. Whatever happens here, we got at least a solid run out of the mono green machine. You love to see it. But we'll see if we can't keep the wins coming as we head into game number 5. Here we are on the play with another little curve out. 2 mana, 3/1, 3 mana, 4/2. Just push damage in early. Uh-oh. Not going to feel like I'm on the play if they've got Llanowar Elves accelerating them. They're going to be casting bigger cards than me, faster than me. Green, white from our opponent. No Blanchwood armor over there. I'm saving this Blanchwood armor for one of our tramplers. I'm fine with Thespian into Llanowar Elves and set up the draw. Fleeting Flight would be a good trade for our opponent. Looks like we're just poking them for 3. Let's play any trampler. Let's play the Truffle Snout, the higher power trampler. There's Cathar Commando. Cathar Commando, sadly, can blow up a Blanchwood armor if it sacrifices itself. Arabo is a very strong card. 2/2/2s all by itself, but if they play any more cats, they get even more tokens, which is wild. If I try to Blanchwood armor here, they sack the Cathar Commando. Truffle Snout goes down to 4/2 stats again and trades into a cat token. That's really not good for me. They kind of have me locked out here with Cathar Commando plus Arabo together. So we just play the Ranger and an Llanowar Elves here. If they cast like any more cats, just don't think we're breaking through this game. Now we're really just trying to find somewhere to trade into Cathar Commando. Sarah Angel's big. They're tapped out of Cathar Commando for a turn if I want to just get one big Blanchwood armor swing in. It does not seem great, though. I can just play the Colony Kicked, which will let me attack with the Ranger. There we go. Get out of here, Cathar Commando. Now we have a Blanchwood armor plan. Anthem of Champions. Buff everybody up. Another Llanowar Elves. They have a lot of stats over there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yikes. Yikes. Well... I can try. You got this, Gnarled Colony. Let's see if they have their own trick. And then we just get blown out. That's not awful. Colony survives. I mean, I think we lose to that. But Colony survives. Nine, and then I can put 2 on them. Yeah, we can't outrace that, because now they just attack us with Sarah Angel twice, and that's game. I can take 2 damage here. And then if Truffle Snout tramples over and hits them, I still survive 1 more swing. Bad draw is bad. Land means we're dead. Yeah, because they could just block Truffle Snout with Sarah Angel to make sure we don't get a food. And then I don't have reach. And I don't have removal. That is unfortunate. We did have some outs there. I feel like Overrun probably would have worked. Second Blanchwood Armor, maybe. Certainly our removal spells would have. But it was not to be. That Sarah Angel gonna kill us. 3-2 heading into game 6. Alright, here we are on the play again for game 6 with Hornbeetle into Truffle Snout again. Wonder if I'll ever get to cast a Ceratops today, hopefully. Hopefully that'll be this game, how we finish this one off. Playing against blue-white. Go, Hornbeetle, go. Think twice, they draw a card. Just classic green deck stuff over here. Giant creatures very early. Banishing Light. Goodbye. Truffle Snout? Maybe Hornbeetle. Truffle Snout is the pick. Very Thespian. What do you see? Another Giant Growth. Get that out of here. The awkward part is now with a Giant Growth in our graveyard, it's really easy for our opponent to be thinking about Giant Growth in how they declare blocks. Because they literally see a copy of it, they're like, maybe I might be getting Giant Growth here. Mischievous Mystic, one of those 2 mythic uncommons I talk about a lot. Card is absolutely absurd. 2 mana for a 2/1 flyer and a 1/1. Already done ridiculously good work. Alright, Thespian, what do you got on top? Sure. This is a decent board for Overrun. We'll get another Hornbeetle counter with it too. Be 19 power? They might just be dead. If they tap out like that. Okay, yeah, 19 power. They can't survive. Overrun kills them. Boodoo. Classic green win condition. Gotta love it. Back in one of the first sets I ever drafted, M10, they had Overrun in there, and that was what I would draft so often. Was like near mono green decks that were just finishing games with Overrun. Llanowar was in that set too. So it was like Llanowar into early overruns with other creatures alongside them. But there was another mono green payoff in that set that was a lot better than Blanchwood Armor, I feel, which was Howl of the Night Pack. It was a 7 mana sorcery to make a 2/2 wolf for each forest you control. So it was a lot of mana. But that was obviously like almost unbeatable with Overrun if you got those 2 together. Anyways, we'll stop reminiscing and get back into the gameplay. We are 4-2 heading into game 7. Here we are on the draw for game 7. We will keep this. Have that wary Thespian looking for mana, but also we're on the draw, so we get an extra draw step to look for mana. Playing against green-red, they start with Ruby for the Hasty Mana Dork. So not only are they on the play, but they're on the play with mana ramp, so they're going to be way ahead of us in terms of the mana value of the cards they're casting. So it's going to be very painful early few turns here. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's the Ambush Wolf to go with the Ruby to just buffer up to a 3/4 already. Also terrifying. Just cast another Thespian here. Next turn play Hydra plus land. Or I could play Hydra now, not have good blocks this turn, but then I can go Thespian plus Colony next turn. Try to really play into the overrun that way. I really think I need to be on the defensive here where I'm just playing another creature big enough to block the wolf. Yeah, I'm going to play off curve here to keep this wolf off of us. Bite down is the draw. I'll keep that. We might be on Colony plus Bite down next turn. Think we are. And if we hit land 5 for overrun, they're pretty much dead. Five toughness. Or no, 6 toughness. That ranger is permanently buffed by the Archdruid. 7 toughness. It's not the overrun mana. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Play double creature, do what we need to do to not die, and then land overrun. Cross our fingers. They have 1 toughness. They're at 11. 6, 12, 15. 15 power. Even if I tap land or else to cast it. So if I can survive off 1 chump, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can't. I have to block with 2 creatures. 12 power off double Thespian, so if I throw Gnarled Colony under the bus too, I'm dead to Giant Growth or Sure Strike. But I don't think I have any other plan to win this game than to kill them next turn. Like, if I block with more creatures to not be dead to Giant Growth or Sure Strike, then I just don't have enough creatures to come back no matter what anyway. But this way, if they don't play another creature, I just kill them on the crackback. If they don't have the Giant Growth. No matter what I draw, I don't even need to draw land to do it. Okay, please no Giant Growth or Sure Strike. Even if I block there, I'm still dead to Giant Growth or Sure Strike, because it's 7 plus 3, yeah. Oh, bulk up? I was incredibly dead to bulk up. Jesus. Man. I feel like we were 1 turn from winning that game. That feels like a play draw differential kind of game. So we were a turn away from lethaling them instead for 12 on the crackback with only 1 toughness, no matter what we draw. Close stuff. This was a pretty great record for a mono color deck. You should basically never draft mono color without a really good reason to do so, and Blanchwood Armor is not a really good reason to do so. It is not a strong enough payoff that you should ever play mono green in this set. So I think 4 and 3 is actually a very respectable record for a mono green build. One of the biggest flaws of our deck is the flaw of every mono green deck. Big lack of removal here, just one bite down. But just slamming down a bunch of creatures, casting some overruns, that is a way to win some games of Magic, and we sure did win a few at 4 and 3 here. Not bad at all. We got to do some fun stuff with Blanchwood Armor. It was a good run. I'm happy that we drafted this deck and got to show off some green stuff that we've been avoiding like the entire rest of this flashback trip. But that'll do it. That is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.